Welcome to Wanted Down Under, the show that catapults a British family right across to the other side of the world to help them make the biggest decision of their life, whether to stay in the UK or to move to Australia. The Mercer family from the Wirral want a fresh start down under. Tony Mercer has lost his business and dreams of a new life in Australia.
I think the UK's got some fundamental problems and I don't think they're going to be fixed overnight.
His wife Jane's had a tough time recently.
It's been hard in a lot of ways, sort of Tony being really down regarding losing the business.
A bit upsetting about my brother and sister a second, sorry.
A fresh start might just be possible for the Mercers in Australia.
Absolutely see myself living here. I think this is what we need to be aiming for.
I'm Sam, this is table 3, this is Nick, Marley, Tom.
But will it be that simple?
So far, I'm shocked on what you get for your money in Australia.
Why are we doing this? Because we've got a beautiful home.
And will Sam be happy?
I'm going to miss your friends, mate. Oh,
okay.
Don't get sad, it's okay. It's obviously a very sore point for him. People think it's such an easy decision when they see the sun and the beautiful surroundings, but it's not an easy decision at all.
Around 150 people a day migrate to Australia in search of a better life, and anyone who's under the age of 45 and on the skills shortage list could be heading down under at the head of the queue. But for all these families, how hard is the decision, and do they find what they're looking for? 20 British families have been pushed to breaking point as they find out about real life down under. And after just 1 week, they'll have to vote one way or the other, whether to stay in the UK or to move to Australia. Jane and Tony Mercer from the Wirral and their 2 children, Sam and Jess, are about to leave their life in the UK. Tony ran his own successful property development company until the credit crunch hit. He was declared bankrupt. Now they're going to sample life in Australia.
It's probably made me reflect and look at myself a bit more, made me a bit stronger, but it made me a lot weaker before it made me stronger.
Since then, he has struggled to find work in the UK and believes that a fresh start in Australia might be the answer.
I'm not going to be naive and think it's all, roses and petals and rainbows over there, but I think the UK's got some fundamental problems and I don't think they're going to be fixed overnight. And I don't want to be here while they're getting changed. I'd rather go somewhere else and have another go.
Tony's wife Jane disagrees.
Initially, I did feel that he was wanting for us to pick us up and run away. That's part of the reasons initially why I said, no, I'm not going. We'll work through this and, we'll build it all back up again, and we will. It's not running away, it is just trying to find a better life for the family. Absolutely.
Tony is a property developer turned house husband, something he's struggled to adapt to.
As soon as you do one room, you turn around and the next room's a mess, and then they want feeding, and then you've got to do the washing, and... Oh well, can't complain. The wife's at work.
Jane, now the sole wage earner, works as a senior hairstylist in a salon in the Wirral. Any move to Australia would mean she would have to support the whole family financially, a daunting prospect.
I feel a lot of pressure about being the main visa applicant, because it's down to me to make sure when we get there that I get a job and, get the income coming in straight away.
She has very high expectations of what hairdressing in Australia could offer.
It's really in demand to have British hairdressers over there. I think the salary is much better than here in the UK. I'm hoping so anyway.
All 7-year-old Sam is worried about, however, is whether he can fit his toys in his suitcase.
Kind of excited. because I've never been to Australia before and I kind of miss my friends.
No worries at all about Sam. I think Sam will take to it like a duck to water.
Then there's 4-year-old Jess.
I think Jessica might... she might take a little bit of time, I think. What do you think? What do you think you'll be all right in Australia? Would you like to go?
Jessica keeps herself back and doesn't make friends so quickly. But she's 4 years old and I think she'll adapt.
After the loss of Tony's business, life has been difficult for the Mercers, but they have a close and supportive family who'd be very hard to leave behind.
Some people don't think we're making the right decision, friends and family, but I don't think they're quite prepared to tell us that, but you can see the way that they feel is slightly different.
You know, as much as I really want to go and see what it's like. Come on, Bella. I know I'm going to get a little bit homesick. I never thought I would, but now that we're getting a little bit near and thinking about it, I know it's going to be a problem for us, but I think we're very strong as a family. I'm hoping it's just going to be enough. It's going to have to be because there's going to be no one else there. A little large on the tone.
We're sending the Mercers to Darwin, the capital of the Northern Territory and Australia's most remote city. Despite being surrounded by the outback, it has a modern and cosmopolitan feel. Rebuilt in 1974 after a cyclone, it offers the Mercers a very warm climate. And as Australia's fastest growing city, it has plenty of job and housing options for them. We found 3 different lifestyles for our family, each one offering a brand new way of life for them to try on their budget. But which one will be the most suitable? First, let's see what the city has to offer the Mercers. On their budget of £225,000, they might find property expensive. 4-bedroom houses like this would be just out of their reach. However, on the edge of the city, plots of land are more generous and there are plenty of job opportunities in hair salons, so potential work for Jane could be close by. So, very different from their life in the UK. But what about the second option? Darwin's coastal suburbs would offer the Mercers a more idyllic life. Though not as well serviced as the city centre, local shopping malls would make everything convenient for house husband Tony. Jane would be able to find work in one of the local hair salons and avoid the 15-minute commute into the city. Property on the coast is sought after and therefore expensive. 4-bedroom family houses such as this one cost around £240,000, which would stretch the Mercers' budget of £225,000. That all looks very inviting. But what about the third option? The outer suburbs will give the Mercers more space for their money. 4-bedroom houses like this should be manageable on the Mercers' budget. The outback would be on their doorstep, so there'd be plenty for Tony and the children to explore, while Jane would have to commute 30 minutes for work. 3 very different options there, all of them life-changing. So where did we decide to send our family? We've decided on the city for the Mercers. With its many hair salons for Jane close by, and with cheaper properties in one of the city's suburbs that will suit their budget, it's the best option. We've set Jane up with a trial job.
What is the salary for a senior stylist?
I've got the pay scale summaries, actually.
And properties for the family to view.
It is, yeah. It's like a static caravan.
And an Australian family to meet.
Hey Eddie, by next dry season, I've got a job for you.
Good. I'm staying here. I've got a job. See ya.
I got the visa, baby.
So the Mercer family are jetting off for a week to sample life down under. But will it live up to their expectations? Or will the UK prove to be too much to leave behind? After a gruelling 10,000-mile journey, they emerge on the other side of the world at 4 o'clock in the morning. So how are they feeling?
He's okay, tired.
Very boring.
He's been asking every 5 minutes, are we nearly there yet? For 24 hours.
It's a gruelling journey, especially when you've got children, but they're almost there. The family will be staying in a large apartment in Larrakia, just 10 minutes stroll from the city centre.
Wow, what a huge room.
It's different, isn't it, having your living room, kitchen and dining room all in one room? perfect for us.
I think this is mine.
Oh, it's got an ensuite as well.
Oh, wow, look at this. 3 beds in here.
No, don't bounce on the bed.
Well, it looks like the kids are starting to wake up, which is just as well as the day is beginning.
I have this vision of it's like all like new shaped bungalows or something with a 2-storey. And I guess like the seat you see in the States, but first impressions of getting here, obviously the sunlight's only just coming up. It's not what I thought it was going to be. The palm trees, everything, that's all as you'd expect it. But like the style of houses and flats opposite, and just wasn't what I was expecting, to be fair. But
I think the house is great as a base.
As a holiday home?
As a holiday home.
Inverted commas, like.
Yeah, I think as a home to live in for the family, I would expect newer, modern.
This might be the norm. We just don't know, do we?
No.
This apartment may not be what they're looking for long term, but it will be a great base to explore Darwin. Finding the right property is crucial if they're going to decide to move to Australia. Let's hope they find something suitable tomorrow. Back in the UK, Tony and Jane live in a 3-bedroom house in the Wirral, which they bought in 2005 for £148,000. The property is in a great location and they've spent a lot of time and money on renovations, so any house in Darwin will have a lot to live up to. We've found 3 suitable homes for sale. The first is slightly further out in the suburb of Karama. A 20-minute commute from the city centre, this 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house is on the market for £225,000. So, depending on what they could sell their house for in the UK, they should be able to afford it. The only trouble is, it's on a main road.
Okay.
Something from the 60s.
Quite small, isn't it?
It's just decor. Nothing that couldn't be. Nothing that could be changed. All I can say, it reminds me of a caravan.
It is, yeah. It's like a static caravan.
It is, isn't it? Is it me or is it really dark? Is it the lights really low?
The whole building seems really dark, I think.
God, it is literally. Is that just timber frame construction? It's tiny, isn't it? The wall's about that thick.
Well, their first impressions aren't great, but is it that bad?
OK, so separate toilet.
Tony's experience in property development would be needed if they're going to make this house suitable, but is it enough?
Right. Well, there's nothing stopping this wall coming out and a door going here and having one big room, isn't it, with a bath and a shower and a more conventional bathroom as we would know it. I just can't get over how caravan-y it feels. That's all the only word I keep saying. Everything's just stud, 4-inch stud walls. There's no insulation or anything.
And again, it's so dark.
It is dark, isn't it? Do you know what? If this was all we could afford, you could make it nice, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the outside where we want to be more than anything. And
yeah,
from what
and
it's
only decor, but again, it's only 3 bedrooms, which I know is all we need. But for the size of that lounge, if people were going to come and stay, where would they stay?
Is this all you get for your money, really?
Well, the inside hasn't impressed them, and this is one of the best value areas to live in Darwin. Maybe the outside might just make up for it.
That's much better, isn't it?
Let's go and have a look at the pool. Watch your fingers. It's a really nice sized pool, actually, isn't it?
For us, that would be perfect, wouldn't it? I'll tell you what spoils this.
It's that road.
That's it.
But do you learn to live with that and not hear it, Sam? Don't get too close.
It's intrusive, but it's not offensive, if you know what I mean. You could live with it, couldn't you?
The traffic may be noisy, but the nearby road may make this property more affordable.
I'm a bit disappointed in the house, the inside.
It looks a little bit run down as in the area. You're right next to a main road.
Yeah, you see, the road isn't bothering me too much now.
I think the outside space in this one is what sort of makes it 5.5 instead of a 4, you know. You could live here and you could survive here, but it would just be a transitional accommodation where you'd sit for 12, 18 months and then move on.
If this property isn't up to scratch, maybe the next house would be better suited. Property 2 is a bit further out in the suburb of Gun. This 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house costs around £260,000, so would be a bit of a stretch, especially with just Jane working. But the area is great for families, and there's even a play park next door.
Oh, wow.
This looks a lot better, doesn't it?
Wow. This is better.
I want this.
Probably not that much bigger, it's just laid out different, isn't it?
It's just one level, so it feels bigger, doesn't it?
I like the tiled floor. The room's probably only the same size. The other ones, I think it's because it's just light, isn't it? And
I think it's actually smaller than the other bedroom, but it's got the built-in wardrobes, which is a bonus.
Yeah. Jessica, she'll touch it. Oh, this is nice. Oh, it's got ensuite as well.
Yeah, it's a much nicer bed.
I like the sliding doors. See? Quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is nice. And the double shower.
2 sinks.
Yeah.
2 showers.
1 toilet. So that's bedroom 2, so we need to find bedroom 3. Where's the 3rd bedroom?
So this is the 3rd bedroom.
Versus being a study. It almost feels like it's been squeezed in as a 3rd bedroom, and really it should be just listed as a 2-bedroom with a study.
Ah, it was looking so good, but with a growing family, space might well become an issue.
When you first come in, it's all new and you think, fantastic, it's new, and it looks all modern, but when you've walked around it a few times and you've looked at it, it's actually very small for what you're paying.
Yeah. The kitchen is probably half the size of what I've got at home.
So far, I'm shocked on what you get for your money in Australia. Value for money it's not as what people make out, is it?
No, it's a lot more expensive than you think.
Yeah. Should we have a look outside and see what you get outside?
Yeah.
Big push.
Yeah. Well done.
Feel the heat currently coming out. This is lovely, isn't it?
Wow. Look at the waterfall. Much smaller garden and a back area than the last.
Yeah, absolutely, much smaller. But I'm not too bothered about having big open spaces in the back garden to maintain.
Well, this house seems to be a bit more suitable, but what do they make of it all?
This is a great starting point.
But it's not for starting money, though, is it?
No, I suppose.
You're talking about a starting point that you'd want as an acceptable standard, which I totally agree with you. But you're not talking starting money, which, let's put it in perspective, it's not as cheap as everyone's making out to be. To come to Australia and go through the turmoil of moving and leaving the family and the friends and the work, just leaving everything, I don't want to take a backward step.
So far, things aren't looking good, and it seems as if Tony might be starting to change his mind. But what about the final property? It's close by in the outer suburb of Durack. This 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home comes with stunning views, but at around £425,000, it's definitely way out of their price range. However, if Tony went back to work and they got a good price for the sale of their UK house, they might just manage it.
This is a nice entrance, isn't it?
It's a bit more like it, isn't it?
Yeah. Whoa, look at this, guys.
Very stylish, very modern.
Good size room.
Just from the front room, I'll have it. We'll take it.
I think it's your bedroom.
I think you're right. Wow.
Beautiful bed as well, isn't it? It's like mummy and daddy.
Oh, it is beautiful, there's no denying, it's absolutely perfect.
Super.
So far, so good, although Jane has her reservations about the lake.
Imagine waking up to that view every morning, Jane.
I could quite get used to it. But do you think there's any crocs in that lake?
No crocodiles in there.
There's no croc. Are you sure? Do you want to test the water? I don't.
It'd be a lot of work though, keeping that floor that shiny, wouldn't it?
That's your job.
Well, I don't know about that, Tony. This property may be a bit out of their price range, but Jane has a solution.
You could build us something like this.
Yeah, one day, yeah. Of course I could build something like this.
So you mean you could build those?
Well, I couldn't build the lake, but I could build this house. This will be your room, Sam. So everything comes with built-in wardrobes in this house, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
the space that you've got is space that you've got rather than having to put wardrobes in. Just all blends into one, but it does it nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really subtle.
Outside, there's a toy for Tony.
Built-in barbecue outside.
That's a Barbie and a half, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like our little one in our garden, is it? Have a little look over.
Imagine cleaning the glass.
Yeah, sticky fingerprints everywhere.
Yeah. You sort of think, God, you couldn't put a washing line up anywhere, could you? Because you just wouldn't want to spoil
Lower the tone.
spoil the view.
It's an impressive house, and Tony seems to be getting a little bit swept away.
I can see myself living here, playing golf over there, Jane going off to work, me looking after the kids. No, I'm just only joking. I'm sure that won't happen, but I can absolutely see myself living here, and I think this is what we need to be aiming for, not only for quality of life and style, but something that really is going to motivate you, you know, it's something that you want to set to, a target that you want to achieve, and something like this will really motivate me, no doubt. I'm sure it'll motivate Jane as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Move this house over to the UK, so like we can live here, and so we can see our friends again.
Oh dear, the house may have impressed Tony and Jane, but it seems Sam is starting to miss the UK and his friends. We've shown the Mercers 3 properties. The first house in Karama cost £225,000 and may have been affordable, but it didn't go down well.
It's like a static caravan.
And Tony didn't think much of the neighbourhood.
I'll tell you what spoils this.
It's that road.
The second was more expensive at £260,000 and seemed to be suitable, but the space would be a problem.
It's actually very small.
And too pricey.
Value for money it's not as what people make out, is it?
The third property struck a much better chord, and Tony and Jane clearly wanted to move in straight away.
Just from the front room we'll have it.
However, at £425,000, it's beyond their budget for now, and they would both have to work hard to be able to afford something similar, unless Tony built one.
I couldn't build the lake, but I could build this house.
So how will they vote? Do they prefer property in the UK or here in Australia?
Based on the properties that we've seen here in Australia today, our vote goes to...
Australia.
Australia.
UK. My decision is based purely on value for money, so that's why I've gone with the UK.
Despite that, they all seem to have been swept away by the last property, but the first two were definitely unsuitable. It's brought Tony back down to earth. Later, the Mercers find out exactly how much their house in the UK is worth.
We really have put our heart and soul into the house, so it's quite sad, really, isn't it? Because you just want it to be so much more, don't you?
Yeah.
And the atmosphere gets tense.
This is why at home, right, I do all this, because Jane's useless.
But for any potential move to become a reality, Jane needs to bring in a good salary. Property in Darwin can be expensive. If they're going to be able to afford a mortgage, it's down to Jane to find work.
Hi Jane, I'm Colette. I'm one of the owners of Stone Island Hairdressers here in Darwin, Australia. We're really looking forward to meeting you. We've been here in this salon for 11 years and we're quite a large salon. We're really busy at the moment, so when you come to Darwin, please come and see us.
Back home in the Wirral, Jane works as a hairdresser. Since Tony's bankruptcy, she's been the sole wage earner. If they're going to make a move to Australia, it's vital that any potential salary can support the family. But will the money live up to her expectations?
I've heard regarding the salary that it's pretty much double compared to the UK. And hours, I believe that the hours aren't as long. You know, the salon I work in, for example, is open 7 days a week. Some of the days that I work are 10-hour shifts, you know, especially the days that I teach can get quite tiring. So I've heard that the hours are very different here.
Jane is meeting up with owners Colette and Fiona.
How are you? You must be Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane.
I'm Colette.
Hi, Colette.
Nice to meet you. My business partner Fiona.
Hi, I'm
Jane.
Fee. How are you?
Welcome to Darwin. Come through this way. I'll show you the basin area.
Lovely.
We have 4 basins. They're lovely massage basins. shiatsu massage and normal massage. The basins also move up and down. So this is Kelly. Kelly, can I introduce you to Jane?
How you going?
Jane, this
Fine,
is
thank
Lee.
you.
After a quick look around, it's time for a test of Jane's skills. But will she be able to wow them with her cutting? The family's future hangs on how Jane wields the scissors in her hands now. This could be the most important styling she's ever done. Since Jane has been working full-time, Tony has had to get used to being a house husband, and today, while she's at work, he's taking the kids to a nearby play park. Darwin has a large number of these parks, something which the children should enjoy. But Tony has a lot on his mind.
Worrying about how the family are going to settle in plays on my mind constantly. I've even had the guilt trip of obviously losing the business and taking bankruptcy, and you almost sometimes feel a failure, and you think when we come here probably would be taking a backward step in like materialistic things, which we know. But I've even had the emotional side of it. I'm thinking, God, have I been a bad dad? Have I been a bad husband? Because we shouldn't be in this position. And we're very up and down, and people think it's such an easy decision when they see the sun and the beautiful surroundings, but it's not an easy decision at all.
And it's not just him. He's noticed a change in Sam.
I'm a bit concerned about Sam, if I'm honest. I'm quite surprised, actually, because I think Sam's going to be the one that's going to make it hard for us to move. I know, at the end of the day, he's 7 and he'll do as he's told, if you like, but it's actually affected him quite a lot, and that in turn's affected me when I didn't think it would do. So that's a downward feeling, or a bad feeling for us, really. I think he's just really missing his friends.
My cousins, aunties, nans, uncles, granddads and all the other friends and families. Ben said he can only visit me 5 years at a time because the money, you have to save up the money. That means I wouldn't see them for a long time and I'll forget about them.
Ah, Sam, a huge decision like this is never easy. But how has Jane got on with her crucial test haircut? It's judgment time.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're all finished?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick real look. You've got a little bit of styling product already in there, or
No, not yet.
Okay. Sorry. Technically, you know, it's a beautiful haircut.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that's great. Yep, that's what
Around the neck, is that okay for you?
Yep, lovely. No doubt we'll get to see you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Jane seems to have impressed them, but what about the details? At home, she can earn £20 an hour, but how much can she get here?
What is the salary for a senior stylist position?
Well, I've got the pay scale summaries actually that you could take home with you. Every one of our senior stylists are on at least $22 up to $26.10 an hour, with penalty rates when they work late nights, so they get time and a half. I think we're sort of relatively on par with other states in Australia.
Oh dear, that works out at around £11 an hour at the current rate of exchange. Jane was expecting double pay, not half. What does she make of that?
I really do think I've sort of been led up the garden path regarding the salary. I was quite shocked when she showed me the figures, and I didn't sort of want to gasp, but in my head I was thinking, oh my goodness, that is just so not what I thought. If I was the main breadwinner, then yeah, I would be at work 24/7 with that salary expectation. You know, it's very low.
Well, there's a job there waiting for Jane, but the pay's not what she'd hoped for. So how will she vote on the job front?
Based on what I've seen today working in Darwin, my vote goes to the UK.
For the salary to fall so low below expectations, it's a real blow to the family's plans. And they've had some big setbacks recently.
Tony being really down regarding losing the business, me having to leave the kids and go to work.
And how will they react when they see messages from family they're leaving behind?
It's quite emotional for me. I'm trying to be I'm being very strong, but
Since losing his business, Tony has struggled to get work in the UK and hopes that a move down under will give him a fresh start.
I think the UK's got some fundamental problems, and I don't think they're going to be fixed overnight.
Jane, on the other hand, was not keen to go, and it's taken a lot of persuading from Tony to get her this far.
No, I'm not going. We'll work through this and, you know, we'll build it all back up again, and we will.
Although Tony felt that Australian properties were too expensive, Jane liked them. However, her notion that hairdressers get paid twice as much in Australia proved to be false. And despite impressing her potential employer, she was shaken by the low salary.
I was quite shocked when she showed me the figures.
To make things harder, Sam, who was initially keen on a move to Australia, has started to miss his friends back home.
I wouldn't see them for a long time and I'd forget about them.
As the main breadwinner, Jane's low salary in Australia means that it's more important than ever to get a good price for their house back in the UK. Tony and Jane bought their three-bedroom house in the Wirral in 2005 for £148,000. They've spent around £40,000 on renovations. They think it's now worth £200,000, and every penny will count, as houses in Australia are proving more expensive than they thought. We sent 2 estate agents round to give it a proper valuation. It's time for Tony and Jane to see what they had to say.
Good sized family lounge with a nice big bay window that plenty of light into the property. Finished nice with the Carndean flooring. Nice room, this one.
Feels very strange seeing someone walk around your house when you're not there.
Good sized kitchen breakfast room. Fitted really well with some integrated ovens.
Well, the French doors onto the garden are a nice feature, and you've got the trees in the park behind, which is lovely. Obviously it gets the sun at this time of day, which is a nice feature. This is a very family friendly and very family orientated garden, which I'm sure would be a great selling point. It's a lovely contemporary bathroom suite. White's obviously always more popular than any other colour, and it's been fitted recently. I'm sure it'd be an excellent selling point.
God, here's our room.
Good sized master bedroom with fitted mirrored wardrobes and bay window, and of course the huge king size bed.
Actually a super king.
Super king, actually, get it right. Sam's toys everywhere, eh?
Overall, it's a really well presented 3-bedroom semi in a popular residential location. The large sunny back garden's a big positive with this property. Should be a good selling point, I would say. Now, to achieve a quick sale, I would probably price the property at around £180,000.
OK, we've got a lovely 3-bedroom semi here, just the kind of property that people are looking for in this area. So as long as the price is just under £200,000, I would expect there'd be quite a lot of interest. Although in the current market, they may have to take an offer more around £185,000 to £190,000.
Well, that's less than they thought, by about £10,000.
That's dropped a lot, hasn't it, really?
That's really, quite a shame.
Yeah. What they're saying is now you can buy a house like that, with that amount of space, finished to that standard, for £180,000 for a quick sale. Whereas over here, to buy something that needs loads of work, and not particularly to your taste and stuff, or what your dream is, then it's still maybe another 50, 60 grand above that price.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So and I think that goes back to when we looked at property, my vote was UK, because I think value for money, you do get more for your money in the UK, and it's very clear just by watching that, isn't it?
Yeah, we really have put our heart and soul into the house, so it's quite sad, really, isn't it? Because you just want it to be so much more, don't you?
Yeah.
You do sort of realise and think, well, why are we doing this? Because we've got a beautiful home and our family around us, and, you know, coming out here we might not be able to have as nice a home and no family around us.
You could be living in a tin hut dirt box like some of the things we've seen, you know. So it doesn't sit right with me. I'm thinking we've got a lovely house there, and we're looking at dirt boxes and made out of tin and stuff here.
Corrugated iron.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit of a head scratcher. I think I can't quite get my head around what I'm doing here, thinking about it. It doesn't sit right.
Is it the dream?
Yeah, is it the dream? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure at the moment.
The value of their house has certainly come as a shock to Tony and Jane. They're going to have to work out how much it will cost to live in Darwin to see if they can actually afford to make the move at all. We've provided the Mercers with some details of everyday costs in Australia, but will the numbers add up?
Right, that's the top. Right, Australia cost of living. So tax is quite high, isn't it? 30%. Stamp duty's 5%.
So that's big, isn't it?
That's a hell of a lot. Electricity bills, gee whiz. You have a pool, it costs money, don't you? You forget, it's not just water in a hole, is it?
It's a £500 a month.
On electricity alone?
On electricity alone.
You're basically 40% more for your food, aren't you? So are we working this out weekly? So I think it was 2,000 there.
Say £200.
Read it properly, love. Right, we're having a bit of a dilemma here. You're not reading this properly, are you?
No, obviously not.
These are our energy bills in Australia.
Home electricity.
So our energy bill a month is £254. Our energy bill here is £250. You do it. You do it. This is why at home, right, I do all this because Jane's useless at it. I do it.
Well, after some serious number crunching and a little loss of temper, can they afford the move to Australia?
OK, based on the cost of living in Australia and what we've just gone through, our vote goes to Australia. We do have skills, and I know what I'm capable of when the opportunities are there.
I know that if we're making it work in the UK now, where things are so tough, here where there's far more opportunities for us, I definitely vote Australia because I know we can do it.
So do I.
Darwin can be expensive and Tony would need to get a job. But what would life be like? They may be on the other side of the world, but for Sam, there's no getting away from school. Tony and Jane have been concerned about how the children will settle in Australia, so they've arranged for Sam to spend the day at Jingley High School. The principal is there to meet them.
Good morning. Welcome to Jingley Primary School. I'm Jodie Green, the principal.
Very nice to meet you, Tony. This is my wife, Jane.
I'm Jane.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Sam.
Good morning, Sam.
And Jessica.
Good morning, Jessica. Sam, this is Mr. Dixon. He's going to be your teacher for today.
Sam, would you like to come in?
OK, be good.
You to everyone.
Have a nice time. Bye.
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 In a recent survey, Australian schools were rated in the top 10 in the world, higher than the UK. However, they're managed according to the specific state or territory they're in, and so can vary greatly across Australia. Sam certainly seems to be settling, though.
It'll probably float, and it will float.
While Sam finds out what school is like down under, Tony and Jane are keen to see what the nursery would be like for Jess.
Come and have a look what we're doing at preschool today. And Taya's drawing a picture, aren't you, Taya?
The move, we are sort of quite worried about Jess. But now it's sort of switching and I don't know whether I should start worrying about Sam. Because usually he's so laid back and we'll just go with the flow, but he seems to be constantly saying he's homesick, he wants to see his cousin, he wants to see his friends. So it's a big decision. He's feeling quite anxious about the whole thing. Ultimately, if I'm not happy for the children to be moved out to Australia, then it won't happen.
Well, it seems a lot rests on how the children take to life in Australia. So how has Sam got on?
Enjoy it. Oh, good boy, well done. Listen, say thank you, please.
Thank you, Sam. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
After a morning at school, the Mercers head off for a swim. Darwin's nearby beaches may look inviting, but the family are going to a man-made lagoon in the city, closed off from the sea. This pool is where locals do their swimming, safely protected from the unpleasant surprises that lurk just off the beach, where you could get a nasty sting. Darwin has some of the most beautiful beaches in Australia, bordered by the warm and turquoise waters of the Timor Sea. But with such a stunning coastline just minutes from the city, the beaches are empty. Saltwater crocodiles are prevalent in the estuaries and coastal waters of northern Australia, but with crocodile monitoring and numerous croc traps around Darwin Harbour, bathers can be relatively sure these dangerous creatures aren't around. Tony Snelling, CEO of the Northern Territory Surf Lifesaving Team, is here to tell us more.
Well, we advise people not to swim on the beach 8 months of the year. So from the beginning of October right through to the end of May, we basically say don't go in the water. Here in the tropical north of Australia, we have a particularly dangerous species of jellyfish called Chironex flickeri, or locally known as the box jellyfish.
The box jellyfish is greatly feared.
If you're stung by a box jellyfish, you immediately have extreme pain, and the toxins can also have an effect on your cardiovascular system. The box jellyfish has a transparent bell to it, the bell-type shape, and the tentacles are similarly transparent. They come out from the tidal creeks and feed in the shallow beach areas and reef areas around the coastline.
Even in the dry season, it's recommended that people only use beaches that have been checked. It's not just swimmers who are in danger.
Paddling is particularly dangerous during the wet season, and that's where many of the stings occur. Of course, people aren't prepared for that. They associate box jellyfish stings with swimming, but many of them occur just by people simply paddling or wading in shallow water.
Luckily, there are times of the year when the water is safer.
Nothing's ever completely safe and 100% risk-free. But box jellyfish are not prevalent during the dry season on the beaches. It's quite rare for somebody to be stung by a box jellyfish, particularly in the months of June, July, August and September. So it is relatively safe during the dry season.
It is a real shock. It's something that I hadn't researched at all about Darwin. That you automatically think beautiful beaches, that you can go swimming and you can surf.
There's a safe lagoon for the family to enjoy, giving Jane a chance to reflect on how hard life's been since the bankruptcy.
Tony's been at home trying to become the house husband. Struggled. But he's getting there. And it's been really difficult for me breaking away from the children, especially for Jessica. She's so clingy. Doesn't really want to do much without me. And it's been hard for Tony because he was always at work, and now she just cries continuously for me. So it's been hard in a lot of ways, sort of Tony being really down regarding losing the business, me having to leave the kids and go to work, and then come home and pick Tony up for being down, and then still being a mum, and it's been a really hard 12 months for us all. Based on the lifestyle that we've seen here today in Australia, our vote goes to...
It's been a long day, but what do the Mercers make of the Australian lifestyle?
Australia!
UK.
UK?
Okay.
Really? How come you voted for UK, Sam?
Because I'll miss all my friends.
You're going to miss your friends, mate? Oh,
Okay.
Don't get sad, it's okay. It's obviously a very sore point for him.
That's okay.
You made lots of friends here, but okay, we'll see. We're a family, so we'll make a decision based as a family, so you'll be fine.
It seems Sam is really missing his mates back home, but if they're going to emigrate, they'll all need to make good friends. The Mercers are up early to meet a local family at one of Darwin's many street markets.
G'day, how are you?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Eddie.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Eddie. I'm Tony.
G'day, Tony. How are you?
How you doing?
This is my wife Julie, my daughter Courtney and Adrienne.
Hello. This is Sam.
G'day, Sam. How are you?
And this is Jessie.
Hello, Jess.
Hello, Princess. Come on, say hello. Look at the size of these watermelons, Jess. What's that?
After a quick tour around the market, they head to a local park, and Tony is very eager to find out more about Darwin.
This is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's plenty of work, isn't there?
There's plenty of work for anyone with a trade. I think there's plenty of work up here. I think maybe down south might be different things, but up here there's.
But you know, there's always, if you want to work, there's always work.
Yeah, but.
You know, like.
Yeah,
because in the UK
it's there. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but as much as people are getting laid off in the UK, you could still go and get a job if you're prepared to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, but you're probably flipping burgers. Let's put it in perspective.
Yeah, but if you need to feed your family, there's work out there.
But
employers have got a bit more of a wider scope of people to employ.
But there's work for tradespeople who've got skills. There's a need for them.
There's a big gas plant starting up soon, so.
I know with us, we want to do some work at our house, and everyone you speak to says the builders, it's just a huge backlog until you can get someone in. So you sort of can't ring up this week and say,
I want a bathroom fitted next week.
Yeah, well, like even 3 months' time.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Because that's what I was doing in the UK. A lot of sort of redevelopment, remodelling, new builds, cosmetics, internal work.
If you organise all your stuff, be out here by next dry season, I've got a job for you.
I'm here. I'm not coming home. I'm just going to stay here. I'm staying here. I've got a job. See ya.
I got the visa, baby. So come when I'm ready.
Take care.
See you, Tony.
Hey, really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
See you later. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much indeed. Look after yourself.
When you move back, let us know and I'll sort that job out.
See ya.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Tony may well have landed himself a potential job, but Jane knows him only too well.
Tony can sort of get carried away, really, and say, oh, this job and that job. I am the sort of feet on the ground person and say, hold on a minute, have you really thought this through? And most of the time he has in his own way and everything does work out really well. But yeah, sometimes I do have to rein him in a little bit.
Tony may be excited about the prospect of returning to work, but how will they feel about the move down under when they've seen messages from friends and family back home?
Hello. Hi Jane, hi Tony.
Hello Sam, hello Jess.
Hi everybody. Hello Sprog.
Hi Jane, Tony, Sam and Jessie. I couldn't ask for a better brother. He listens, and I could go to him with anything, and obviously he'd fix it. He's a fixer.
Super intelligent. He is. If you knew what he's achieved in his life so far, you'd think, wow.
She's a good daughter.
She's a nice girl, Jane.
Loyal.
Supportive. They're very good kids, aren't they?
Very good.
Yeah.
Lovely kids.
Nice-natured.
I love them. I love those kids so much. She's Daddy's girl. I think she's absolutely beautiful.
Sam is a very good friend. Sometimes very clever. And he's very funny. You might forget about Sam. Yeah.
I'll miss her, generally. I'll miss Tony because he's loads of fun to be around. I'll miss the kids because my children play with them all the time and, they get on really well. I'll miss her just being there, really, if I needed her.
I think of the contact and giving them a hug and knowing that I don't have a brother just around the corner anymore.
Just him turning up and ringing the bell and, having a coffee. And
I don't think a day goes by that I don't speak to her. And I think I'll just miss her company, really.
I think she'll find it quite difficult. They used to live in London, and one of the reasons she moved back up here was to be near her family. And Australia's a lot further away than London, so I think it'd be quite tough for her.
At the moment, I think I'm still in a bit of denial, because I think they won't go.
They're gonna start a new life, and and that they will move on?
I worry about that. We won't have that closeness. That's who I'm going to miss. It's our only grandchildren.
The only grandchildren we know about.
I'm going to miss them. I miss not having him around, really.
Sam and Jessica, don't forget your Auntie Jenny, and I don't care how big you are, Jessie, I will always give you the aeroplane, and Sam, I'll twizzle you round even when you're fully grown, and I'm going to miss you a lot.
Good luck. Love you.
We're going to miss you very much, especially Sam and Jess. Love you very much too. Bye.
I've been thinking about you all week, Jane, and I'll be here for you wherever you are in the world.
Whatever decision you make,
yeah, we're with them, aren't we?
We're with you all the way, and all I can say is I love you loads, and I'll see you soon.
If it didn't work, I think it'd be a hard step to come back, to admit that it didn't work, but obviously I would hope for them that it would.
It's quite emotional for me. I'm trying to be I'm being very strong, but it brings it home a little bit, that, doesn't it? Hey, it's very powerful and very strong when you see your family after having only been away a week, but it puts it in perspective, doesn't it? They're so supportive when I've been down and really low. So I miss their support. If you went anything on that, you just wouldn't go, would you? You just wouldn't. Nothing's clear-cut anymore, is it? It makes everything a bit grey, you know? I don't know what else I can say at the moment, and I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
The thought of leaving loved ones behind hasn't been easy for any of the family. The Mercers have a big decision ahead of them. It's the end of a long week in Darwin for the family. They certainly haven't found it easy.
It's like a static caravan.
Wow.
This is better.
I want this.
So this is the third bedroom. It's from one extreme to the other within 5 minutes of each other, 10 times a day. So it's really hard to cope with.
Despite getting carried away with the stylish third property, Tony was stunned by the prices.
This is living the dream house, this. So far, I'm shocked on what you get for your money in Australia.
Put a lot of texture through the back.
The Mercers' dream of a fresh start was also dealt a big blow when Jane's idea of an increased salary proved to be wrong.
I was quite shocked when she showed me the figures, and I didn't sort of want to gasp, but in my head I was thinking, oh my goodness.
They enjoyed the outdoor lifestyle and certainly made the most of meeting the locals.
If you organise all your stuff, be ready by next dry season, I've got a job for you.
But Sam got more and more homesick as the week went on. This was a constant worry for Tony and Jane.
I think he's just really missing his friends.
Because usually he's so laid back.
It was always Tony's idea to move to Australia after losing his business, but having worked so hard to persuade Jane about the move, is he having second thoughts?
Yeah, it's just going to be tough. There's no other word for it, and when you're here and you feel the scale of it, there's no denying it. It's just going to be a hard decision. But knowing that I could be here and not seeing my brother and my sister it's sad. It upsets me a bit, you know. Got a little bit. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit upset thinking about my brother and sister a second, sorry. It's not like me, that at all, dear me. I miss my family a lot, you know. I love them all and I miss them dearly, but I've got to do what's best for my family.
Now it's crunch time. Will they choose to stay in the UK or start a new life down under?
Based on seeing everything that Darwin has to offer, our final vote goes to...
UK.
Australia.
We want to see our friends for kind of a long while or family. So that's why I'm choosing the UK.
I understand. I think Australia is definitely the place for us.
I think so.
And how about this, right? I get you your own laptop with a webcam, and you can speak to all your friends at school and your friends you've got on the internet, and you can see the picture of them and you can talk to them on a video. Do you like that? Come here.
Sam will really miss his friends in the UK, but time is a great healer. Tony and Jane have fallen in love with the place and think that Australia holds a better future for the whole family. But it's still going to take a lot to make it work.
Yeah.
Join us again next time when we find out what happens when another British family have to decide whether they're wanted down under.
Back in this country, Warwickshire's the place for a family moving to one of Britain's empty homes in a moment. Then artistic inspiration from Cash in the Attic when they help a painter with an exhibition at 11:30.